Ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị sị na ya dịrị ndị Igbo na mma. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Igbo midia ka anyị si wee na-ewetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ana Igbo and Igbo community and ihe debe na Nigeria. Ya bụ ife ka anyị na-ewetara unu na Igbo midia. Dịka isi wee na-esole anyị, ọ bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị ị na-abịa n'ilu akwụkwọ na Igbo midia, kabaru ka subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ miss any of our update dịka anyị na-etikwu ya n'ilu akwụkwọ kwa mgbe. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ya wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si ada and gbasịta maka ka ya bụ ife si akpọtụ n'ala Igbo. Biko mma achọ ka ige ya bụ ife. Ihe a bụ ihe BIAFRA Chief of Staff bụ Ngozi Ọrabueze kwuru n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ka o si ada na Finland and gbasịta maka Biafran Prime Minister Maazị Simon Ekpa. So igecha ya bụ ife idropụra ife iche n'ilu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ihe bụ ife ndị a niile okwu. All right, over to you.
Line of leadership. Anyone, anybody out there pretending to be anything else, please ignore them. They do not exist. These are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to continue to destabilize what we do. In every stage of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, there are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to disrupt what we do. And I want the world to know there is nothing. This is a pattern. This is a systemic pattern of what they do. They know the right leadership. They know the right order. They know the right command. But Nigerian government pays them to disrupt what we do. And what they do is to continue to create the chaos, the little chaos and confusion that they create out there to confuse the gullible, not the ones that are truly following, but they confuse the gullible ones because they are paid to do what they are doing. So I implore all Biafrans, I implore everyone listening to me to stay focused. Our focus is to peacefully or forcefully let Nigerian government move away from our territory. Nothing more, nothing less. We are going to use everything within our reach to defend ourselves, to defend our lands from all this killing of innocent Biafrans being perpetrated by the Nigerian state. That is what we are going to continue to do. I thank all the state governors. Biafra has 40 states. Each of those 40 states in Biafra land have 15 counties. And those counties have districts and wards. We already gave a notice to the Nigerian state to vacate anywhere they are in Biafra land. Any Nigerian military or police inside Biafra land, at this point, you are occupying a foreign state. We implore you to leave. We have all the evidences that we are peacefully imploring you to leave Biafra territory. Stop killing our people because we are going to react. You cannot continue to kill our people. You cannot continue to invade and occupy our nation. We've declared our nation. We've written to the Nigerian state. We've notified them of the independence of Biafra. We are exploring all the peaceful avenues at this time. But we cannot continue to allow them to kill our people and we just watch them do that. We are going to self-defend our land. Self-determination is our right. All the 40 state governors, I thank you so much for what you are doing. We have a decentralized military in our homeland, and we will continue to build and work on that. On this note, we are going to take questions from the people that are watching. As you all know, today we call it a question and answer session. If you have any question, please you can raise up your hand and make your question as brief as possible. And I am going to try as much as possible to answer your questions. The Honorable Information, the Secretary, if you can take the hands. And please, if you cannot raise your hand using the tools that we have, let us know. You can just talk. Because we don't want people to say at the end of the day that they could not take their hands or we could not answer their questions. Meanwhile, they didn't raise their hand and they didn't let us know that they want to ask a question. All right, let's go ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to, before you go, I wanted to let the world know and use this opportunity to also thank our Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces, Navy, and Air Force for what they're doing on ground to ensure that we protect our state, to ensure we protect our nation. Please do not listen to all the rumors and gossips and all the online online misinformation going on with some individuals. All they are planning is to destabilize what we are doing. Because you cannot claim that you want Biafra to come and at the same time you are out there in the public domain misinforming people, calling people's names. You don't know anyone. We are building a nation. We are building 40 states. Everyone has a role to play. It's not your duty. You don't have the right to come out on social media and be mentioning people's names. People you don't even know what they do. Because some people are calling you, gossiping to you, then you think you have the right to go on air and be just spilling out misinformation to the public. No one has a right to do that. It is not acceptable. We are building a nation. We have over 1 million jobs that Biafrans are lining up to take in the ministries, in the House of Representatives, in the legislatives, in the local government. Who are those that are going to do this job? There are millions of jobs in the defense, in the police, in security apparatus. Who are those that are going to take up these jobs? What are you fighting for? What do you need? Our greatest enemy is the Nigerian state that comes to kill us using the Southeast and South legitimized government and their agents, their security agents, and the reintegrated terrorists in Biafra land wearing the Nigerian military and police uniform. Those are our greatest enemies and the politicians that support them. Those are the individuals you should be fighting. Not fellow Biafrans because you have a personal beef with the individual. You come out to spill the nonsense, calling people's names that you don't even know who they are. Even if you know them, you have no right. You have no right to be misinforming Biafrans. I've seen a lot of misinformation. Like when somebody was saying that somebody was giving $50 million to an individual. That is a pure lie. And then you come out publicly to spill this nonsense to Biafrans because people just listen to you on the social media. Let us go ahead. And for those Biafrans, again, one more thing I want to say. I don't have any problem with anybody trying to do whatever or say there's freedom of information. But when that freedom of information amounts to spreading falsehood to the public, that's not acceptable. And for those of you that are being used by the Nigerian government, and when you go online or Twitter space, all you talk is about Dr. Ngozi Orebeze, Dr. Ngozi Orebeze. I ask you a question. Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the freedom that you're fighting for? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the independence of the United States of Biafra that you are tasked to do by our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and by our Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze your problem? Is that the freedom you're supposed to fight? Is that the terrorists you're supposed to fight? Is that the Nigerian state that are bringing people, the integrated terrorists to kill our people? Is that the independence you're supposed to be fighting for? When you spend 8 hours on Twitter space and talking about Dr. Orebeze, you think that will change anything? That will not change a thing. The roadmap, the plan for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra is already mapped out by our Prime Minister. That template must be followed from beginning to end. If you like, you go on social media, stay there, cry from now to the next 100 years. It's not going to move anything. It's not going to stop Biafrans. So I implore all Biafrans to come together. This is not the time to start backbiting. This is not the time to start going on air to just waste your precious time. The time you will use to be talking about Dr. Orebeze or Defense Minister or Information Minister or somebody else, you can use that time to map out something strategic for Biafra. You can use that time to meet the county or the congressman in your region and tell them about Biafra. You can use that time to go to the offices of individuals that are going to financially help us to restore, establish our military, establish our police, because we need the funding. That is what you're supposed to be doing. But if you continue to come online and disrupt what we do, that means we believe the Nigerian state is using you to disrupt what we are doing. And we are going to give you the treatment that you need. I promise you that. Let us go ahead and take the questions. Thank you so much. Secretary Aguilar.
Thank you so much, DPM. Biafrans appreciate all you do for them. Just keep doing what you are doing. The end will justify the means. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and take the question as I see them from my own end. First person is Wealth. Wealth, go ahead. Wealth, unmute yourself, please, Wealth.
No, I have no question.
Your hand is up. Okay, let me bring it down then. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. John PM, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Biafra. Good evening, our DPM. The beautiful woman, the action woman. Why Jaga? Gavalai Soglazo. Sorry for using that Igbo. The question I have to ask, number one question, I have 5, but let me just ask 2. One, the day we declare Biafra in the Finland, is it a Biafra people declare Biafra, or is it Ngozi Orebeze declare Biafra? One question. 2, which army our DPM is greeting? Is it the one our PM built, Butuzo, or which army is that? Because Butuzo said he did not recognize her. He don't know her. 3 question. Why begging Tinubu if we are fully recognized? Why begging Tinubu to recognize you if international have recognized you? Thank you for the 3 questions.
Thank you so much for those 3 questions. Who declared Biafra in Finland? Biafrans declared the restoration of the independence of Biafra. If you listen to what I said, our Prime Minister was supposed to do that declaration, but almost like a week or 2 before our declaration in Finland, Nigerian state connived with Finland and some agents, some different agents, both at home and abroad, and they took away our prime minister. So that made it impossible for our prime minister to physically declare the independent state of Biafra. Because
Not you.
our prime minister was supposed to do that. But before that day, before the declaration, remember we were already running a government, the Biafra Republic government in exile, that ushered in the United States of Biafra. So our declaration document, as I stated, was supposed to be signed by our prime minister. So when they removed our prime minister, it became a chaos for all of us, and we didn't know what to do. And I strongly believe that in the midst of that chaos, our prime minister already know each and every one of us, how everyone acts, what everyone has been doing, how each person does. And because our prime minister maybe knew that there might be some individuals in the Biafra Republic government in exile that may bring chaos during the declaration, before then, the prime minister had to send out that notice that I should be the surrogate. And the surrogate is somebody that will be acting in the place of our prime minister until he joins us. So the prime minister does not need to do that because we already had a structure. Even when our prime minister was around, I was the chief of staff. So the structure is already laid out. But because some individuals decided to cause chaos during the time our prime minister was taken away, maybe that was why the prime minister knew that these individuals will continue to cause the chaos. So upon the structure we already had before our prime minister was taken away, the prime minister also had to now let the world know this is the person that will be his surrogate. So, like I said, he doesn't need to do that. But in the declaration of the independent state of Biafra in Finland, it was supposed to be done by our prime minister. In the absence of our prime minister, that task fell on me on behalf of the whole Biafrans. The second question.
Mr. John, are you really? Do you wanna? Don't interrupt the DPM, please. Just hold on. And so she's going to ask her a second question.
Again, somebody has to do that. Again, if you don't understand my answer, the prime minister was supposed to do that. Over 1,500 Biafrans gathered all over from the world to be in Finland. They came to do the declaration. So all the Biafrans that were in Finland at that time, they came to declare. The second question, you said Butuzo told you something. Again, if you can bring Butuzo here on this meeting to use his mouth to tell us what you said he told you, then I will be able to answer that question. Then the third question, why begging Tinubu? Nobody is begging Tinubu. You do not need the approval of your oppressor to be an independent nation. It's just like a husband and wife that are living together. If the husband is maltreating the wife does not need the permission of the husband to run away from the house. It is the power vested on the wife to leave the bad relationship. So Nigeria does not have to approve for Biafra to be an independent nation. The United Nations, the European Parliament, they have a criteria. Not that we are following these individuals, because we know they are the one partnering with the Nigerian state, milking our oil to continue to kill our people. Like I said, we've met the whole criteria to be an independent nation. That is why we declared in Finland. So we're not begging Tinubu. We are only putting the right documents on the right table. As we are submitting these documents, we are also forwarding these documents we submitted to the Nigerian state to some international bodies that are asking us for those proof. That's exactly what we are doing. We're not begging anybody. We are just doing the right thing towards a peaceful separation and notifying Nigeria about our independence, our declaration in Finland is just what we've done. Thank you so much. Next person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Prime
There's no
Minister,
answer
please.
you give me here.
Thank
no
Hold on. If
Okay,
you
I
can
think I
permit
have
me,
to
I
just
would like
let
to.
him. He didn't come here to ask questions. I'm going to get him out. Thank you. Go ahead, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, I would have loved to ask him some questions because he talked about begging Tinubu or whatever. So I wanted to understand if he actually read the documents and where he got that information that that the government was begging anybody for anything. So sometimes it's very, very important for us. I think it's an opportunity to lay those emphasis that whenever we see an information, do not focus on the headline. Go ahead and read the details so that you can understand yourselves. It is not enough that we follow the headline, especially when we know that the Nigerian media can be very, very unprofessional in their conduct. So they are used to putting headlines that do not actually reflect the actual message or the content of whatever letter that they are publishing. So it's very, very important for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much. And I'll just say, I mean, even though that some people may come here with some opinionated ideas, I want to also hear where they are coming from, and because some of the individuals and what they do and where they are coming from is already with a set kind of misinformation they hear from the public and from the social media, and it will also be okay for us to they know that we are here to clarify their questions. And like Honorable Butcher said, if you do not have enough information to back up the misinformation you have here, please just ensure you keep that to yourself. Thank you so much. Next person.
Thank you so much. Dear friends, if you are coming here to ask the DPM question, please address her as DPM, not her first and last name. At least she occupies that position, even if you don't like her as an individual. Respect the position that she occupies. Thank you so much. Mazi Omenihu Onyebuchi, please go ahead.
Good evening. Am I coming up?
Yes.
I'm calling from UK. First of all, I want to commend our Deputy PM for doing for all he's doing. And may God continue to protect and help her to pioneer this very struggle, which God have handed into her hand. I don't know whether we are permitted to ask questions to some of the secretaries, like the one on Interior, Secretary Dorothy. Can I ask questions for her?
Yeah. Again, if the question is not for me, you can also call the person you want to answer the question. Again, the overall session is for me to really answer most of the questions. But if you have any question you want a particular secretary to answer, you're free to do that. Please go ahead.
Okay, let me finish with you first. Your own question is, I had Adadorama say that she's your sister. I must say that she has been doing a good job during the time we had this problem, but now that she had deviated, what can you do to save this very struggle from the hand of your sister? Because her altercations and utterances is an embarrassment to this very struggle. That is for you. Then for for Secretary Dorothy, I applied for my ID card initially. I was among those first people that applied. And the person I did it together came to Finland. I collected hers and came back to UK. So when this issue of ID card came up again, I have to email the Secretary Dorothy. Then I gave them my number, everything. They now wrote back to me and said that my form is incomplete. When they said that, I said, okay. I wrote them back again today. So what is incomplete in my form? State it clearly. What is incomplete in my form? They now wrote back to me and said, no, you have to go and start again and fill another form. The other Friday I came online there. I was just online there when I was kicked out because somebody from Angola was interrupted. And immediately I relaxed and said, okay, let me come back again. She kicked me out of the air. And I tried to go back. They say I have been kicked out. So I don't know what is incomplete in my form. And instead of them to address the issue, they'll be telling you it is admin. Everything in UK is not admin. Some people fill their form on their own. It's not admin. Let us stop using UK issue as admin. I filled my form. They have to tell me what is incomplete in my form, and not to tell me to go and start again to do another form. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you so
Dr.
much.
Dorothy, are you here?
Excuse, hold on. Let me answer my own.
I'm here. Okay,
Hold
thank
on,
you.
Dr. Dorothy. Let me answer my question, then you answer yours. You asked me a question about Adadua being my sister and what I have to say with the damage she is doing on the social media. Again, what I have to say is this. We are running a government right now. We are running a government, and anyone that respects that government should be very, very mindful and cautious of the information they spew out on the social media. This government supports freedom of speech, the rights of individuals, right of association, and like I've said, what we will not allow is misinformation on the social media. Every Biafran is either my brother or my sister, and I'm not going to allow anyone to use brother or sister to misinform Biafrans. Again, part of that misinformation is what we are going to clarify to Biafrans here today, because so many misinformations has been sent out by this individual. And some Biafrans are already so sad, so depressed because of these lies that are being spewed out by this individual. We're going to address that. Yeah. But on a general note, every Biafran is my brother or my sister. In fact, I have brothers and sisters all over the world, because somebody that is even not your own blood brother or blood sister can be nicer to you, can do good things to you. You can have a good relationship even with a stranger, more than the so-called brothers and sisters. The reason why Biafra has not been fully restored is because of those so-called brothers and sisters. They are the ones that will go behind and collude with the delegitimized Southeast and South governors, collect money from them, and then start fighting against the genuine freedom fighters we have in our country. Biafrans are mostly the culprits, because it is the rat inside that tells the one outside to come in that there's fish in the basket. So we have to take those responsibilities. We need to start reorienting ourselves. Those of you that were saying when our leader Nnamdi Kanu had a problem, oh, you are not going to do anything. You will just stay one place until our leader Nnamdi Kanu comes out. What do you have to say today? If our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has said, okay, he's not going to do anything until Nnamdi Kanu comes out, are we going to be where we are today? Are we going to be where we are today? So those that make those kind of comments are not only ignorant, but they do not understand where we are going in the area of our freedom.
Wadaloli neno from Igbo media, boy by Siwene Utanu Nyabuzi, Dio Kempa, Bastabak Yemen and Nigeria, and the enemy teacher na Eastern region, and Uno Kosia Dana Finland, and the Biafran Prime Minister, Casey Judea, the update and the Yabu Biafran declaration came in Finland, so Yelina Kaya, I know Telu Niba Huko. Kifi wali kubwa maka yabo iye chief of staff kugasinirwa kuko yeneboro tagasiaka and the new development on Biafra of United States of Biafra. So yabi ife ka isi ka tiedo no kono kwa ifunche no den kono maka yabi ife ngwa dado dinen nke mesia no munem.